Welcome back, terrestrials. In this episode, we're doing 1999's Jerry. What's this movie
House,
called? House
house on
on
Haunted
Haunted
Hill.
Hill. Now,
How's on?
yeah, so we're very clear. This is the original Vincent Price remake. Okay,
Yeah,
so that explains a few things. I just wanted to make sure before I said they could not try to get Captain Barbosa to look and act more like Vincent Price if they dug Vincent Price up and used him like a marionette puppet. Um, what do you grade this movie, Jerry?
uh, I like it, but I'm gonna place it in the C tier. It's a C.
Okay.
But it's still good. Like I enjoyed watching this movie. It's just
I was hoping
like
you would say that
like
because now I've got some things to say to you.
little like it's not like whoa, but at the same time, it's not like it's just boom right there in the C. Where are you putting it?
Um, I've got to give this either a C minus or a D plus.
Okay.
This movie for me somehow managed to have the 90s stink and the 2000s ick at once.
Okay.
And it's very, very, very interesting to me that you said that this movie is good.
hmm
You don't like 13 Ghosts, but they're the exact same movie.
They're the exact same movie. I mean, it's just
Yeah, that's what
yeah.
I said.
They're
I
they're
also said
they're
that.
they're the exact same movie. Yes, I can debate that.
Well, no,
On
I would love to.
certain levels. One, like I don't see that 2000s yuck. I
Mhm.
see the 90s kind of like that time period where the faculty or the like
Good
urban
movie.
legends or
Okay
fucking
movie.
idle hand where it's still in the 90s.
Mhm.
And trust me, they throw out 90s stuff like that fucking video camera that
I
lady
had that
was.
video camera
Yeah.
after my dad and used it as the family video camera for 10
Right.
years. I got my hands on it and filmed skateboarding videos with it for, a
Definitely.
year or two before it burned out.
But also, there's like things like the opening credits has like,
Yeah, they just drop you right in the middle of a Tool video.
yeah, seven. I was thinking like seven, like they're just throwing out like just really creepy imagery.
Mhm.
Yeah, then they place you in that that insane asylum in the beginning. I really like
Yeah.
that stuff. It like is really good imagery. Whereas in like it, it kind of dull colors too. Like they have some pretty like nice colors,
Mhm.
like cinematography wise, but it just I don't know, the ghosts in this kind of seem different and real, whereas in uh
What
13
ghost?
huh?
What ghost? The only ghost in this movie is the doctor. You
Right.
see him through the videotape,
Right.
and then the shadow, dark cloud, which is just a combination of a bunch of naked women.
And a Rorschach test. Did you notice it was mirrored?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
like that.
that's all it is. It's one naked woman like looking up like this, and then another one like laying down, and
Mm.
then some black clouds behind it. I was like, what the fuck is this thing?
It's
Like,
all of the
what?
spooky people in there.
No, it's not spooky. What porn stars were in the spooky part of this? All right,
The two
look.
ladies that
So
were doing helping the doctor, the two nurses at the
maybe I
beginning,
don't
you
know,
know?
but they didn't. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Um, that's its own thing.
Right.
We can wrap back around to that. This movie is so close to 13 Ghosts that I like the same sound for the ghosts, by the way,
Right.
like the fading, echoey, like
Yeah.
just, yeah. The same like twitchy movements, like, the head shaking and shit.
Right.
Exact same thing.
Hmm.
Being lured to the house with a purpose, same concept. The house is alive and does its own thing, same concept. The house
Wow.
locks up like a fortress, same concept. Um, uh, it hits so many marks on the same thing. Now, granted, this movie came out 3 years, 2 or 3 years before 13 Ghosts came out.
Right.
But
And that's a remake too.
well, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But they both feel almost exactly the same to me. Now, I prefer 13 Ghosts over this
Done. Yeah.
because I love the original House on Haunted Hill. That is like a wonderful movie to me.
Okay.
This one's the original 13 Ghosts was not amazing to me. It was not
Yeah.
it
It's
it holds
forgettable.
it is forgettable, but it holds its place in, iconic old movie history. But the original 13 Ghost, I thought it was unique, the house being made out of glass with the spells written on the walls, all that stuff. This one just felt like a failed attempt at grasping the old one, especially because Barbosa was acting just like Vincent Price the
They
entire
wanted, yeah, they
time.
wanted Vincent Price. Like, I mean, his name is fucking Stephen Price.
Right,
And
right, right,
you
right,
know,
right.
um yeah, they wanted that like homage. All right,
Yeah.
so since they have a lot of similarities, let's do a weird compare and contrast real quick. Okay, not biased because I know you like both of these character actors. Who did it better, Matthew Lillard or Chris Kattan?
Matthew Lillard by far.
Yeah, I knew you'd be biased. You're gonna go
You
Matthew
just said
Lillard,
don't be biased.
and you
No,
did. You
but
were
look,
biased.
no,
Chris Kattan
Matthew
was way
Lillard will
better.
crush Chris Kattan in any movie whatsoever,
Oh my god.
in any position. The fact that you even put Chris Kattan at a towards Matthew Lillard is silly to me. Now, what I will say in favor of Chris Kattan was A, it was nice to see him again.
Right.
Um, B, it was nice to see him not in a Corky Romano-esque style movie. It was
God, what
nice
was
to
that
see
movie we
him
watch?
crazy
Fuck, I can't
something,
remember it
something
either. It's
crazy.
2 years now.
Um, but it was nice to see him in a more serious, darker role. Um, he did not have a very big part in this. He was pretty
No.
forgettable only because, well, so he wasn't forgettable because I go, oh shit, that's Chris Kattan.
Right.
But he didn't do anything impressive. He was just a whiny baby the entire movie that
Just
wanted
wanted
to
to get the
get
fuck
drunk.
out of there.
Right. Matthew Lillard's character was actively trying to save them, and Chris Kattan did too, towards at the end,
Yeah.
Uh, but he was trying to warn them. He was trying to get them out. He had special powers that helped out. He had like the visions or
The
whatever.
glass. Yeah.
He had the knowledge of the glasses to help
Right.
out, which was another similarity, by the way. They had glasses in 13 Ghosts. In this movie, the video cameras showed the ghosts. So
Right.
that's another correlation between the
Well,
two.
they had, yeah, that
Um,
was just a nice little bit, kind of like where she's going around with the camera
right.
and
But
then
even in
she looks down and
right. Even
like
in this the security studio or whatever, he
right.
sees that doctor like doing the weird glitchy walk or whatever. So it was all
Oh,
video
yeah, the
cameras and they
sensory
had
deprivation. Fucking
no. And
oh.
where he walks in and the guy in the control room's face is cut out,
Oh, okay.
and he
And
looks at
yeah,
the security screens and he
right.
sees the doctor guy. If they would have figured that out and utilized that more, I think it could have been more fun for the movie because you could have seen more ghosts,
Right.
different types of ghosts, whatever the case is. I feel like they really missed an opportunity with that, where 13 Ghosts, they took that opportunity and was like, no, this is how they navigate through the house
Right.
because this allows them to see what's really in front of them, which is, I thought that's where this movie was going, but it didn't. But this isn't a versus, so I'll leave
No,
the
no, this isn't a versus. Like I
but there are enough correlations and similarities
similarities,
that
right?
the conversation does come up for me at least,
Right.
for
But
me to go like versus this. But again, I like 13 Ghosts more. I think you like this one more.
I
Um,
have to go back and watch 13 Ghost. I was hard on it at the wrong
yeah,
mindset.
yeah, it
And
happens. I mean,
like it just like this movie, I'll go back to where it feels just a little bit more grittier. Definitely like
okay.
the CGI in this in House did very little, and they do have like a lot of good practical effects in there. Like I wish we would have had more like where she's on the video camera and she sees them and she puts the video camera down and then she looks back, and at the end of the hallway and there's a there's just this thing standing there in the shadows, and it kind of makes a weird noise, and then we have like the fast like pace, and it's like, oh, stay with that, and then they like throw like a bunch of edits of shit at you, and I wish there were more of those moments. Like a lot
You
of what
know, if you want more of those moments, watch 13 Ghosts
it's okay.
because they did that. They stuck
Right.
with that
They
idea.
yes, they did
Um,
steal a lot from this movie.
but
I know.
right,
So
but also in but also in 13 Ghosts, don't mistake the ghost. Those were all practical. Remember, we talked about it. Those were all
right.
guys in uniform, like costumes and stuff. So
Yeah,
there's very few CGI shots as that goes as well,
right.
which
They
I can
just
give credit
filmed
to
them
these.
different to
Right.
make them,
Yeah.
like
I can give
ghosts.
credit to these two movies for in an age where CGI was blowing up, they didn't use, they kept it to a minimum
Right. They
in a
kept it to a
horror movie.
minimum.
So that's a
They
positive. What I super didn't, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and not only did they keep it to a minimum, but when they knew, like, okay, how do we, like, okay, like at the end, your naked lady, like
Yeah,
the smoke
I
that
don't like
attacks
it. It's
them.
so weird.
I did because it kind of looked different, like instead of like,
It looks like a bunch of naked
like
women on a
it,
Rorschach
it just looked
test.
like, different, and it was unique, especially with the Rorschach like imagery, and I kind of liked it.
So let's go ahead and jump on that. I forgot what I was going to say. So let me go ahead and
Yeah, yeah, what
jump
else you
on
got?
this one. I felt like they didn't have an idea of what the the entity was going to be, right? Because Catan says it's the house, it's the house, it's the house. We see Tay Diggs's character as a possessed figure projection situation. We see the guy with like the sheet pulled real tight over his face. They they should have stuck with that style situation. And then you see Catan go, well, wait till they really let the darkness out or whatever.
Right.
Whatever version of that he
That's
says.
what it's supposed to be.
Right. That's what Vincent Price's character, Captain Barbosa, lets out of that room.
Right.
But as it's coming out of the room, you see the thing like tentacles coming out, smoke,
Wisps.
the naked lady Rorschach. It's like, which direction are we going? Is it a fog? Is it
It's an entity.
shadow
It has
tentacles?
no form. It's
Yeah, it
everything,
just what it came off to me is they
I know one thing though, it's probably a lot better than 1954, and it's just a skeleton on a wire.
maybe
And
I but
that's
there's
the
something charming about that though, and
right.
that's why I like it.
It's weird and
It
like
just it felt like they didn't know which direction they were going, so they chose every direction. That's
right.
all. And I don't like that. I feel like if if they would have just done a simple dark entity in ghosty mist with the faces of the dead ones coming through like they did, fine. But the Rorschach part and the tentacly, like twitchy
Mm.
parts that come out, all that just took away from the dark, shadowy entity.
No, we had to
So
make it.
I'm
This is the
very,
final boss. This is like we had to make it bigger than just like, some ghostesses people that, like this is all of those people that burned up when you put it on lockdown and, back in the 30s. So this was like just a mismatch of like, this is the chewing gum of the house, the garbage disposal, you know.
yeah, I mean, I
It's the ultimate,
I don't
like
know. This movie
everything.
really just didn't hit for me on
You know,
a ton of different levels.
I know.
I get I yeah, I don't, to be honest with you, I don't like any of the actors in the movie except Barbosa and Chris Kattan. Those are the only two people. The wife, I love
Yeah.
her, she's hot, but I don't care about her acting.
Yeah.
The other people's acting, I just congratulations on letting Taye Diggs live till the end. That's awesome. Like that,
Right.
breaks stereotypes, but
Mm.
outside of this movie, and then like at the end, they're sitting outside. Oh, they got all $5 million. Wow. And then they're like, how do we get off of here?
That's what my brain was thinking. Like, do we have to go back inside with the ghosts and stuff? Like, does the ghost lose power when the daytime comes because, he was more stronger, or are we just, but Chris Kattan did say a crew was coming. So I guess, they could kind of yell help or something. I don't know.
I don't
But yeah, that the small fry. I do like also, if you notice in this movie, that it's less of the ghost. Like the ghost killed the one blonde-headed lady,
know.
and then um technically the wife doesn't die by the electrocution, which had a really
Mhm.
cool sound, or the electroshock.
Mhm.
Um, but the middle chunk has that great murder mystery of like trying to frame her husband and her lover, and like I kind of enjoy that. Like in the middle of this monster movie, there's like other shit going on here. Not all the information is provided for us, and
Yeah, but I could see it a million miles away.
right, right.
Like
That's what happened in the
I
original
think
too.
I think that
I think
I think that
it's been a while since
I
I've
don't
seen the
think that
original.
they hated each other in the original. I think that the wife and husband weren't at odds, but I can't remember exactly. But with this one, I feel like it was cool to bring that concept to it, like the murder
Yeah.
mystery thing, but also in doing that I saw through it right away. Like they're like, talking all this shit, blah blah blah. And then I saw the I saw the doctor being in on it with the wife
Okay.
only because of how little screen time he was getting. They were
Right.
kind of keeping him off to the side to be like, oh, ha, ha, you see? You see what we did there? And then as soon as they get out, they discuss the plan, they get out. And, the doctor goes, I think that one girl has it in her to shoot him. And
Hmm.
then you see him getting ready to get shot by her. And you're like, oh, he's definitely not dead. And then, he like she shoots him and he's like, yeah, he's not dead. And then he gets up and like starts choking her. And it's like, oh yeah, let's see. It like I would like to say that is my knowledge of horror movies that was able to pick that out,
Yeah.
but I think they telegraphed that very, very easily.
Mm. Yeah, I
So,
can see that. I can see that where it was kind of just like it was force fed to you to go, okay, yeah, some of the things in here, because we knew, when when Stephen Vincent or Stephen Price was inviting these people for her
Captain
birthday.
Barbosa.
Yeah, Barbosa, when he was inviting all these people, or he didn't invite them, the
The
house
house did.
invited them. Um, that he had things set up in this house to scare people, to
Right,
scare
right.
people. And did any of those really? Did any of that really happen? And I was
I
thinking,
don't think
oh,
that he
all
got
the
to pull the trigger on any of it.
no. The only thing I can think of is like every gun was a blank, like no matter what. I can't remember if anybody gets like shot, killed, you know?
Well, in theory, he was shot, killed, except they were blanks.
They were
And
blanks, yeah, and he
yeah,
had the
but he had a real gun, or no, the wife had a real gun because she shot the glass behind him.
I think he
That
did that.
I don't think he did that because he was shocked by it. And how would he have timed it? How would he
Right.
know
Yeah, that's
if
a
he would have pointed that gun in that direction at that bottle? You know
right.
what I mean? There was too many variables there to have done that specific shot. Now, who was it? Who shoots at Tay Diggs? Oh yeah, Price. Barbosa shoots at
Yeah.
Tay Diggs. I want to say I recall there being like reflections or ricochets from the bullet, but I may be wrong.
I
Where
don't
he's like,
remember.
Tay grabs his arm and he just starts shooting like over top of Tay, like behind Tay.
Oh, okay,
I want
yeah.
to say that there was damn, I did it again.
Ricochets.
Ricochets from that gun, but I can't. Maybe I'm just thinking
Yeah,
about it
but
wrong.
because of that, I mean, it could have been, just put there by this guy who definitely is like, he's a master at manipulation, like
Right,
all
right.
because of all of his like amusement park rides and stuff, which I really, my brain was thinking like when they were on the roller coaster and that first roller coaster like went off the rails just to scare. I was like, that's pretty like not practical. Like, how are they
No,
going to put
no.
that fucking
Yeah,
that wrecked roller coaster back on the tracks?
yeah.
They don't show us like,
No, yeah. And also, I don't think that they can do
what,
that with a roller coaster rail because it needs to be like sealed together, like welded together.
yeah. But it's a
Be
movie. So
right, 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 exactly.
how did
That
they like um artificially create the ability like the feeling of like weightlessness and
I think that,
falling just by
well,
video screens.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer was jumping up and down in in the
Right,
elevator when it was falling. So that would tell you that that you're not actually falling because gravity just pulled you back to the floor.
right.
So you're just looking at television screens and a fan in the floor blowing air up.
Is that
And
Lisa Loeb?
that's who?
You say only hear what I want. You know,
I don't know. Was it? I don't know.
it
I
looked
didn't.
like her.
I think everybody in that era looked like her.
They are all Lisa Loeb
Let me see. I don't know why in the hell she would have been in the movie, but let's see.
because she hadn't had a single and Lilith Fair
It
wasn't on
was
tour
her.
yet. Yeah, I
Yep.
knew it. I knew it. I was like, that looks like Lisa Loeb.
Yep.
Fucking
Hilarious.
but yeah, like certain parts like that. I think like the most fucking the guy from Reanimator as the doctor. I wish they would
Mhm.
have focused more on that. I wish they would have focused more on the whole thing at the beginning. Like give me more of that and less of kind of the party, but I know that's the meat and potatoes of 13. I mean, House on Haunted Hill is there's this party. If you stay all night, you get a certain amount of money. The person who's throwing the party has set up things to scare you out, but
They
oh
were at odds in the original.
yeah,
Sorry.
turns out dun dun dun, this place is really fucking haunted, you know.
Mhm.
And so, like, on that level, yeah, it's pretty good. I think the biggest thing on this movie, the biggest like A plus plus, is this is how you do a remake. You take a very small, kind of campy movie from the 50s and you give me something different, you know, compared to like, oh, we're gonna make Texas Chainsaw Massacre and it's just gonna be Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I'm making it instead of that, you know.
Dude, you're an enigma.
No, no.
Like by that logic, you should have loved 13 Ghosts.
I told you I was in the wrong mindset for 13th Ghost. I haven't seen it. Let's move the fuck on, Jacob, with the
That's
goddamn
so
13th
weird.
Ghost.
It's so weird to me that like that movie is better. They did the same thing. They gave you the old movie, but with an updated premise. You don't like that. And then this movie's not anywhere near as good as the old movie. And this movie failed in so many different directions, but yet you like this one.
All right, Jacob, we go to the theater to see it?
No.
I wouldn't. I've already seen it in the theater. I saw it when it came out, so
Did you get a blowjob or something while you were watching it? Maybe that's why you like it.
no, no.
Weird. So weird. All
Um,
right.
a physical copy.
No.
I think I have a physical copy. I don't know. I think I have
Now I'm
one.
gonna write Tubi and ask them to take it off.
Okay. Um,
I
yeah,
don't want
physical
anybody
copy.
to have a physical
Is it a
copy.
cult? Is it a cult classic?
No, hell no.
No, no. Okay. And I already know the
Do you
answer to
think
this,
it
but
is?
cult classic. No.
No.
Most of the like I think for the time that it came out, okay, it does have like that culty type of feeling because there weren't a lot of horror movies in the 90s, especially in the late 90s, like this, which we can, you know, like Book of Shadows, um, The Faculty, where you have like
Love
these,
both of those.
right, um, just these late 90s. And I think even like, was Book of Shadows 90s or 2000s? It might
I
have been
want to
right on the
say,
fucking
I think it
edge,
was,
you
I
know?
want to say it was like 2000. Yeah. And also beating Marilyn Manson's Sweet Dreams to death. Like
Everybody's
they
done it,
played
so it's easy.
the entire song
Right,
twice,
right.
not just a little bit of it, the entire song
Yeah.
2 times.
Manson must have sold that for real low cheap because if they would have
Or they
waited a
bought
couple
it.
more if they would have waited a couple more months, it probably would have been Living Dead Girl. You know?
I think it would have been Living Dead Girl previous this because Hillbilly Deluxe came out in like
Eight.
97, 98.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sweet Dreams came out
They rolled
99.
the
That
dice.
was the hot shit. But
Manson said like
they probably
$10.
bought it. They probably bought it from Manson. It was like, we're using the fuck out of this. This cost us a lot of money.
Right.
Like Hollywood just came out. We're using the shit out of this song.
Right.
But yeah.
But yeah, I would say cult classic just because like these are the movies that are out that aren't necessarily like that are going to make big impact, like The Ring or Blair Witch or you know like those real classic 90s that you think of when you say 90s horror. These are just kind of like these like middle of the road kind of juggling horror movies that came out that are just a little bit better than like released on DVD or straight to VHS kind of, but they kind of are the precursor to what's going to come out with that 2000s yuck. Like
Mhm.
like it's going to start
Yeah.
becoming more, you know.
That's kind of what I meant to say was I feel like this is the premature ejaculation of 2000s ick.
Right.
Like
It's
this
gonna lead
continued,
into it.
right? This evolved into 2000s ick
Right.
versus it having it. It just felt like the precursor to it.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Small
like I said,
sets,
I'll
small
probably,
cast, you know.
yeah,
So
but these people weren't nobody. Like they're
no, I'm
nobodies
not
as far
saying
as
that
like,
as I'm just saying like
oh,
this is how
okay.
you make a 2000s yuck. You take like a relatively small set or just a
Yeah,
few places
seemingly. Yeah.
and a small group of like, people and you just kind of shoot around them, instead of having like a
Let's look at other horror movies that came out.